Okay, hello everyone. Hope you're doing well. Welcome back. Welcome back to a game that I don't think a lot of us were expecting to happen, if I'm being completely honest. I probably should have had a little bit more faith, but I'm probably, I'll take my lumps for that one. I'll take my lumps for that one. But we have South Africa right now, going up against Canada in the first ever round of 32 knockout stage in World Cup history. And I gotta tell you, man, it's who would have thought? Not me, not me for sure. But anyway, hope everyone's here. Hope everyone is glad, and hope everyone is psyched for what is gonna be a great game of football, regardless of what the result is. We got proper stakes over here. No playing for draws. No nothing like that. We could very well have penalties. All that stuff is good. Let's take a little bit about South Africa. A little bit about South Africa. I mean, come on. For both teams, Canada and SA, it is the first ever knockout round appearance for both countries. Obviously, you can say, yes, it's round of 32, and this is just the normal amount of teams that are in World Cups and previous editions. So it's like, I mean, how much of it can you really chalk down to being impressed or whatever? Yeah, whatever, man. Bun that. Get out of here, whatever. It's just that they still had to go through knockout stages. Both teams had good groups, had decent teams in their groups, and they made it through, both of them in knockout rounds for the first time. One of them will be in the round of 16 for the first time, and then maybe we'll get some people saying things like it's more impressive. But yeah, I think that you know what, I've got a little bit some match odds over here, little new panel that I put on. Obviously, Canada are the favored ones over here. I mean, not only are they the hosts, but you know, they're a good squad. They're quite a good squad. And South Africa, I think that they're one of the most surprising teams that have come to this stage. So we'll see how it goes. I'll show you the lineups in a little bit. But I hope you guys are all doing well. Let me know what your thoughts are on the match and your predictions. Put them all down below. Here are some. Here's our starting lineup. Here's our starting lineup. I'm keen for this one. Oh boy. Jay Black, what's up, man? Oh boy, as a South African, I'm glad we made it this far. Nevertheless, Canada will take this next L against South Africa. Oof. Bold words. Big, bold words, my friend. It could very well happen. It could very well happen. Also, you're probably noticing that I'm in a South Africa shirt finally, because I have a 96 jersey, which I left in Joburg and was supposed to be mailed here, but it did get mailed here, but it was sent back to my sister, who mailed it over. And I thought I might as well just get this one while we're at it. Eggy says, hello, my friend. How are you? I'm doing well. How about you? How are you doing, brother? Odd says, I'm glad your narrating voice isn't too different than your regular voice. It's the same voice. I don't put on a voice. Tani says, Yandu Monday chose PSG over Liverpool. Ooh, okay. We'll talk about that later on. I didn't actually see that announcement there. Okay, well, let's talk about the teams. This South Africa team right now is pretty much, this is the exact lineup that I thought they were going to put out, that I thought Bruce was going to put out to begin with. Like, I mean, Maseko, of course, shout out to him in the South Korea game. I was asleep in that game, by the way. For my sins, I didn't actually watch it while it was live. I woke up to all the highlights and the fanfare and people running in the streets. But yeah, I'll listen. There's a lot that I have to take lumps for in this one. Predicting that SA were going to finish. Well, I said they could finish either third or fourth. I wasn't even holding out hope for second, but it's happened somehow. I see the boys walking out on the pitch now. So I'll take my lumps for that. So yeah, this front lineup is pretty much exactly it, except I would have thought that Lyle Foster would have started up front, but he hasn't been too great in this World Cup, I think, in my opinion at least, up until, you know, throughout it. Mahopa is good. Mofokeng, Apollos, Maseko, great. Sitole, who redeemed himself, an unbelievable redemption from that first game against Mexico. Mokoena, of course, yeah, good team. Good team. I don't think SA could have put out a better one. Canada, on the other hand, let's move over to Canada. Also very good. The obvious omission here um, is our good friend Alphonso Davies, but he is on the bench now and is available for selection for the first time in this World Cup, I believe. And I'm fairly certain we're going to see him come off the bench. I am surprised that we have that. I'm surprised that Larin isn't starting. I feel like I thought that at this stage of the tournament we'd want him to be on the pitch, but I mean, listen, that's an obvious danger when he comes on later on. But other than that, yeah, strong Canada side, very strong Canada side. It's just even though we have it is a hard game to actually pinpoint, because even though we do have Canada as favorites and all of that, I think it's one of those ones where anything could happen. It really is. You think to yourself, whichever team you're supporting or wherever you're looking at, like the fact that SA played the way that they did against Czechoslovakia and South Korea, like they could beat Canada, for example. You would think before coming into this tournament that South Korea would have topped that group. I thought that the South Korea would have topped that group. They've massive disappointments, and we'll talk a little bit more about them later on and how the government seems to be. Like there's been a major inquisition now from the South Korean government into how the team did so poorly, and there's like stores. There are a lot of signs. I was looking online. There are a lot of like signs outside of shop fronts in South Korea, basically saying that the team has done so much shame to them, and they're not letting the manager, who has stepped down a couple hours ago, they're not letting the manager go into a lot of these businesses. It's really funny. It's really funny stuff. But yeah, you don't know what could happen. Obviously, like I'll say it again. Canada are the favorites, so I'm more leaning towards the side of Czechia, Czech Republic. My bad. I said Czechoslovakia, didn't I? I meant Czech Republic. Apologies for that. I am leaning more towards the side of SA, of Canada winning. But let's see. Nitan says, hello from India. Hello from Vienna, Austria. Oh, by the way, Austria versus Algeria last night. Another game that I slept through that I wish I didn't, because it looked like on paper like it was just going to be one of those games where both teams play out but both teams don't even try. And from the looks of things, that's actually what happened at the start. That's actually what was happening. I mean, not at the start, but I mean the last half an hour when it was 2-2. And I don't even know how many passes Algeria made before Riyad Mahrez scored the goal to make it 3-2 and then the finish. And yeah, we'll talk about that later on. S33 says, Tinashe, my brother, where in ZA were you born? I was actually born in Botswana. Robs, is it suspicious that Argentina's route in the knockout stage is easy? It is something. Like, we'll pull it up again just now, but it's like if Argentina are already expected to go to at least the semifinal. I would think anything other than that is just major disappointment from them. But I think that getting to the semifinal isn't going to be too difficult for them at all. I don't see them losing any games or having much trouble at all up until the semifinals at the very least. But we'll talk about their path just now. Tanmay says, yeah, Sitole masterclass coming. Siche, we're good. We're good over here. Rini says, do you think Argentina can go all the way? Obviously. I mean, listen, I could have told you that before the tournament even started, that Argentina could go all the way. We'll talk about Spurs and all that later on, for sure. And we'll also do a pack opening in a little bit. But I'm really excited for this game. My gosh. I've done a little bit over here. We can see our top scorers in the tournament. Let me know if this is too small, by the way, this panel over here. I think it should be fine. Let me pull those quickly. Boom. Updated. Form guide, SA coming off of a win, of course, against South Korea. Canada off a loss against the Swiss. Both finished second in their group. Yeah. I'm really excited. I am extremely excited for what this game has in store for us, and I hope you guys are too. Let's open up a pack real quick. We got one of these. We got one of these. If you don't know what the deal is by now, we basically open these packs before each game, and the idea is that whoever I pack more of from each team, if we pack any from each team, that's who I think is going to win. But I'm gonna go with the assumption that South Africa's going to win this game. We'll put it right there. And let's see. Interesting. Let me know, where is everyone that's watching this right now? I mean, we've got 143 people in here. Maybe there'll be more, maybe there'll be less. I don't know. I think this is a good crowd, but let me know where you guys are from. Because this is an interesting split of voters. It's 44% say South Africa's going through, 56 say Canada's going through. So I want to know where everyone is from. Anyway, pack opening, let's go. First card. Mexico. Wait, let me move this thing because I don't think you can see. I think it's too bright. There we go. That's better. Mexico. Next. Sweden. Next up. Croatia. Oof. This is a good lineup for South Africa, I think. I mean, I think this will be a good game regardless. Korea again. Spain. My man Aymeric Laporte. Spanish, French? I don't know. Who knows? You tell me. Saudi Arabia. And finally, Korea. So we didn't get either. We didn't get either Canadian nor South African players. Which tells us that we're going to have a close game. Are we going to have penalties in the very first knockout game? Can you imagine? That would be absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Okay. Cunha the GOAT? I don't think Cunha is playing in this game. It's entirely possible that he makes a surprise appearance. I'm not going to lie. I mean, you never know. You know, Brazilians are pretty tricky. They might be like a really swift passport switch just out of the blue. You never know, man. Anything can happen. Luis, hi. Hello, how are you doing? England, Hungary, Germany, Detroit, Michigan. Detroit, what's up? Detroit, what's up? Miles Davis, Cape Town. Oof. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, we got a pretty good mix in this one. We got a pretty good mix. Okay, kickoff is about to happen. Oh, and we are off. Ooh. Bit of a wayward pass immediately there, but Canada in control. SA get the ball back immediately, and let's just cool, composed, play the game that's gotten you this far up until this point in the World Cup. I'll be surprised to see, well, you know what? Before this match, Jesse Marsh, Jesse Marsh, he said that he was going to come out the gates extremely aggressive, try and end the game early. So watch out for that. Watch out for that, and let's see how they actually play and how they actually approach this game, because Canada have the firepower, they have the personnel to do this, and I'm wary of what the game is going to be looking like by the time Alphonso Davies is ready to come on. They don't put him on the bench there for nothing, I'll tell you that much. Ray, watching from the UK, voted for SA in the poll. It is. Okay, well, it looks like Canada's taken a little bit more of the lead, but even still, I mean, 40-60, I think that's interesting. That is interesting that the split is like that. Literally says half Canadian player was backed amongst the ones you just showed. Huh? What's ZA? ZA is South Africa. Literary. Canada on the attack immediately. Oh, good tackle by, I think that's Mokoena. but they get the ball back immediately, and now dwindling on the left. Yeah, this is a good showing immediately. Get the foul. Now, referees aren't calling very much in these games, in this World Cup, and I'm a fan of it. I'm a fan of it. Okay. Lights on. It is getting dark, even though it's unbelievably hot. Guys, can I tell you that the heat wave happening in Europe at the moment is shocking. Like, it is really going off right now, and we're having a bad time. Everyone is having a bad time. It was 39 degrees outside. I don't know what temperature it is right now. I checked it about half an hour ago. It was about 37. It is 9 p.m. 37 degrees at 9 p.m. is not a fun time, and it's shocking. Jake Newbie says, bro, I might have to unsub. I haven't lost the game in 3 years, and you just made me lose. I'm sorry, man. Listen, I tried to be nice about it, okay? I put it like really, really small in the bottom right corner. And for anyone who's only just clocked it right now, I'm really sorry about that, but you might have a tough time tonight. You can unsub. I understand. I do get it. I do get it. Rob says NYC gonna have a heat wave soon. Yeah, you know what? I was very critical of the hydration breaks, and I know, and I think I'm coming towards the side of the opinion of, you know what? I understand it, because as I understand, not all these stadiums are air conditioned, from my understanding. Ooh, Canada with a bit of a chance, but there's a slip. Buchanan gets the ball back immediately, but yeah, very, very well played there by Modiba, and South Africa get away with that one. Yeah, you know what? I'm warming to the idea of warming. That's funny. That's good. I didn't actually intend for that. I'm warming to the idea of these hydration breaks, not in their current form, because obviously they were put in place just for advertising, but if the heat in NYC and in large parts of the States is actually anything close to the heat wave that's going through Europe at the moment, then I can completely understand it, and it's something that I can get behind. South Africa with the first venture into the opponent's half. Good defense, just gets it out of there. I think that we're going to see a slow game. But I'm here for it. Miles Davis says, where are you based? Vienna, Austria. Loki says, why not just give a 1 minute break, no ads? Yeah. So, like I said, the idea, as the heat gets up, I can get behind it. But, I mean, in its current form, let's be real here. Ooh, is he offsides? Mahopa's on the ball there, but he slows it down a tiny bit, doesn't take a great first touch. Oh, you know what? First shot on target, and it's a save. You know what? First shot of the game goes to South Africa out the box, but immediately Canada launch into a counter-attack, but Mbokazi is strong. Oh, but he makes a mistake. Good battle. Good battle so far. The game is looking a little bit open. A lot more open than I thought it would be so early in the game. Back-to-back stuff. Score prediction. I'm going to go... I'm going to go 2-1. I'm going to go 2-1 Canada. I'll say that. I'm sorry. This is just like realistic. Like the hopeful in me will say 2-1 South Africa. I don't see this being a high scoring game. I don't know, maybe I just don't see it being a high scoring game. Maybe I'm wrong. This is a beautiful stadium, by the way. This is a gorgeous stadium. This is SoFi, right? Let me double check that. That center, that ring in the circle in the center, with the display is just gorgeous. Good God. What a place. This isn't where the final is taking place, I believe. The final is taking place at MetLife in New York. Yeah, the final is taking place in MetLife in New York. This is SoFi Stadium. Beautiful stadium. I'm hoping that Manchester United can take some. Oh, Buchanan gets on the great defense there. What's going on now? Cool heads prevail. Great defense there by Mbakazi. Good pass by Canada's goalkeeper. Dude, this should be where the final is held. I feel like I'm probably I feel like that's a common opinion, right? Let me ask you guys what you think. Also, leave a like, please. Leave a like, please. Subscribe if you haven't, if you're joining us for the first time. We're trying to slowly build ourselves a nice little streaming watch along community alongside all of the usual videos that you can see on the channel so far. And who knows? Who knows? Maybe we'll go on to bigger and better things, but let's see. Should the final? Oh, Canada. You know, for both teams, Canada looked very dangerous. They crossed into the box, but it's saved. Well, not saved, but it's deflected. That is a corner, is it? Yeah, should be a corner. Yeah, not too much to complain about from both teams. I will say that the final touch hasn't been. Both teams have had good possession inside the final third, or good chance inside the final third, but the final touch hasn't been great for both of them. Still early days though. Corner to absolutely nobody. That corner was in such a great position. That ball bounced in such a great position in the half, but absolutely nothing happened. I remember watching who was the first game that Canada played? It was Bosnia. We got Spiwa Chabalala. And Patrice Motsepe next to Gianni. We see who's pulling the strings. It was the first game that Canada played against Bosnia where Estequio took like 9 corners. Each of them was horrible. Let's hope he can gather that again in this game. Great interplay on the left side. Modiba with a cross. Nope. Bit of a Cruyff turn. He gets back. Ooh. Strong by Buchanan. Watch out for Buchanan. He's been really good in this World Cup so far, in my opinion. Okay. Should the final be held in the SoFi instead? Strong tackle by Mudau. Doesn't get called. Every time in every game that I've seen so far in this World Cup, like I'll be watching these games and then I'll look back and see the challenges that were made. And there's always at least one that was just horror. That was just absolute horror. I'm fairly certain that we're going to see that again in this tournament. Pratosaurus, great name, by the way. Thanks for joining us again. Most of the knockouts are a cagey affair. Yeah. It doesn't always happen that way. Mistake by South Africa, but good recovery. It doesn't always happen that way. Nico Adventures, South Africa left back, can be taken advantage of if his left foot isn't there. Yeah, I mean, this isn't the first time. He should have definitely, in the chance that they had a couple minutes ago, taken the first. what do you call it? Crossed first time. Anne Margaret says Tinashe low-key looking, oh, Canada, oh, good block. Low-key looking gay. Very much respect the homosexual community. I stand with them. I am not a member, but I am there in spirit. I'm just gonna leave it at that before I talk myself in circles. Sire, 1-1 South Africa go through on pens, we trust. This team is very good at penalties. Well, decent at penalties. To my knowledge, I can't recall. Canada did beat, who was it? Was it Ecuador? Or was Venezuela on penalties in the 2020? No, they lost to. No, they beat Venezuela. Let me double check that. Good attack by S.A. Mahopa. Ooh. Building a bit of pressure here, finding men out wide. Modipa, you have to. Ooh. Bit of skill. Bit of swaz. Oh, the boys are doing some flicks around the box. This is like, can you imagine watching this team? Like watching Mexico and then watching this team right now. The first game, sorry. It's night and day. It's very strange. I say that as Canada launch a very devastating attack right now. Oof. This is looking strong. It's looking strong by Miller, and it's a great save. It's a great tackle there by Pokazi. Ram Stadium, so good. Jan Diamande going to PSG. Of course he is. Of course he is. There is a lot going on in the transfer market. I have a lot to catch up on because I have not been paying enough attention, unfortunately. I have not been paying enough attention to what's been going on in the transfer market. Let me see if this momentum chart... Oh, did I even start it? It is tracking. Let me see if it's working. I mean, not really. We're going to have to workshop this one. We'll go back to the match odds. Jake says, the final is in MetLife. Yeah, I went there a few weeks ago to watch the France vs Senegal game. It is beautiful in an odd area for a World Cup final, but the stadium itself is really pretty. Yeah, it does look pretty. It does look pretty, but I don't know. Maybe I need to go to both before I make my assumption. But just watching it on the tube, it does look like the SoFi is I don't know, just has something about it. Ooh, great pass there by Canada's right back. Lots of space open. Ooh, yeah, this is great. Sitole, wow. Sitole's had a massive redemption arc. Great last-ditch tackle over there, just as Canada were about to pull the trigger. I think that was Jonathan David. Great tackle. Great tackle. Jan Diamande going to PSG. Yeah, I really thought that it was Liverpool. It was Liverpool that he was that he was looking to go to before. Obviously, they have a Mohamed Salah-sized hole. Although Mohamed Salah was playing on the right, Diamande plays on the left, does he not? From what I've seen in this World Cup. Great corner by Canada. Jonathan David just goes a little bit wide. Tiny bit wide, just a smidgen too wide. Let's keep it that way. I'm not exactly a fan of how free David was there to get a shot off in the box. I'm not exactly a fan of that, but anyway. Sia Mokazi is so good. Listen, mark my words. Mark my words. Mokazi is going to be in a top league. He plays for Chicago Fire at the moment, I believe. This man is going to be in a top league possibly after this World Cup, but definitely within 2 years. 20 years old, built like an absolute. Am I allowed to say it? Am I allowed to? I'm talking to the producer. Sorry. Am I allowed to say it live? Built like an absolute brick shithouse. He's going to be a great player. Is already a great player. Tommy Nova said he thought Liverpool was in talks with him. Yeah, they were. Theo says, Diomande preferred staying at Leipzig over joining Liverpool. I think the idea was that he wanted to stay for another year, right? That's the story that was being touted. He wanted to stay for a year and then join Liverpool. Or perhaps it was RB Leipzig that wanted him to stay for another year and then join Liverpool. Vi says, why is Alphonso Davies not starting? Injured, but he is on the bench. I believe he's not even been in the matchday squad for the last 2 games. And there was a lot of talk about where he was going to actually be, where he was going to fit into this Canada squad, because he came into the tournament, into the World Cup injured. But I mean, listen, expect to see him on the pitch in this game. Hopefully, for the sake of South Africa, he's not at full fitness, and he's not, firing on all cylinders, because that's a dangerous man. He'll probably play. He usually plays either cam or left wing. I think I've seen him play striker for Canada as well. Mateus Fernandes. Gosh, I don't even know what's going on with that story anymore. Everyone has their own thing. I think Fabrizio Romano has said that he's going to like 3 different clubs already. I think he did the here we go for Tottenham Hotspur. I haven't checked if that's been announced yet. Gosh, these cross-field passes. Was that out? It was out. I was literally just about to compliment South Africa on the cross-field passes these diagonals that they played so far in the game. I mean, 1 or 2 of them have worked out, whereas none of them did against Mexico. That's a foul. That's a foul on Buchanan. Competitive game so far. You don't know what way it's going to go. So most of you think that the final should be held in the SoFi Stadium. I 100% agree. I 100% agree. Just looks great. Although from what I've heard, the area is questionable as well. Yeah. Another interesting talking point is the performance of all the confederations. Another interesting talking point is the performance of all the confederations in this World Cup. Out of the 10 African teams that made it to the World Cup, 9 of them made it through to the round of 32, which is just astonishing. I think I was reading that only 6 teams had made it through, like in history, like 6 teams had made it through, 6 African teams had made it through to the round of 16. So yeah, I mean, obviously this is a benefit of the expanded tournament. But it's an incredible achievement. I mean, you look at the Jessica Alba. Damn, I thought she would be watching my stream. That's insane that she's at the game. That's a little bit disrespectful. Anyway, you look at Asia, the Asian Confederation, for example. I think it's just Australia and Japan. Australia and Japan that have made it through. Everyone else is gone. Insane. In CONMEBOL, it's just Uruguay, Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, Ecuador, and Paraguay all made it through. In CONCACAF, funny story. In CONCACAF, all of the hosts. In CONCACAF, all of the hosts made it through. Ooh, dangerous ball put in there by a set piece by Canada. It could have been, that could have been headed through by at least 2 Canada players. Oof, poor header. I'll tell you what, that is a very poor header there by Cornelius. And Maseko was through. Let's see what you can do, Chief. Let's see what you... Oh, did he over dribble the ball a little bit? A tiny bit. That was a great opportunity by Maseko bombing down the right-hand side. You get a pass. You get a pass for a couple of Mr. Tens, but you know what? I like the positivity. I like the positivity of just running face up on your opponent. Yeah, we're talking about confederations. So, I mean, before we do that, it's pretty obvious what South Africa's game plan is in this game. They've been able to absorb pressure quite well. I mean, it's relative. Obvious foul on Mbakazi there. It's relative because they've been let off twice now. They've been let off twice now. First from that missed kick by Jonathan David on the edge box. Hydration break. Everyone, drink your water. First by Jonathan David on a corner, and then second by Cornelius, who's had a free header there and done really poorly. UEFA, though, of the Confederation performers. Turkey, the big letdown. Scotland and Czechia. Unfortunate for them. But yeah, I mean, if you believe in, if you're the sort of person that believes statistics rule all, then the final should be a UEFA team versus a CAF team. I'm not saying that that's like how everything works. All I'm saying is that that's what you should believe if you are a stats person. Let's do another pack, guys. It's time for it. It's time that we get either a South Africa or a Canada player. Oikawa says, hi, I am watching the stream, Jessica Alba. No, that's not true. That can't be true. I don't believe you because you didn't have your phone out. I saw you on... I saw her. It's not you. It's not you. I saw her on screen on the screen. She was watching the game. That's how I know that you're lying. I would have believed you if I didn't see her already on screen. Right before the action gets going again. Let's go ahead and do one more pack opening. Oh my god, this thing is sticking to the pack. You see this thing? It's like stuck to it. So like pull it out. Annoying. Okay, first card. Turkey. They went home. I'm not sure what you're still doing in these Panini stickers. Iraq. Also out, unfortunately. Norway. Ooh, Strand Larsen. Missed penalty against France. By the way, if he had scored that penalty against France, can you imagine? That would have been a very, very interesting game from then on. Because it was 3-1 at that point, I think, and he could have made the game really interesting. Next one, Paraguay. Number 4, New Zealand. New Zealand. Cote d'Ivoire. Fofana. And finally, Haiti. We've opened 2 packs so far. No South Africans, no Canadians. See this brother in the crowd, this South African brother painted as a South African flag. That's some energy right there. By the way, I was seeing a lot of stuff before this game, well, not before this game specifically, but during the group stages about the Korean population in LA and how so many people were sort of just expecting South Korea to be in this game. and that's just not the case. Evidently. And you know what? They're not the only people that are disappointed. They're not the only people that are disappointed. I've been seeing a lot of stuff about the reaction to South Korea's elimination in this World Cup back in South Korea. You see, South Africa's trying a lot of long balls. trying a lot of over-the-top balls. None of them have hit so far. It's very obvious that the plan here is to absorb pressure and then just hit long. But whether it's a quality issue, whether it's a receiver issue, it seems like it's been a quality issue so far. It's not working out. It's not working out. Final should be Azteca, Gunther says. It's a good shot. It's a very good shot. Azteca is beautiful. Gunther, Tinashe, what are your expands on the expansion? I despise it. I'll be completely real, and it might sound like I'm shilling a little bit, but my initial reaction to it was one that of just negativity, obviously, more games, more money, all of that, potentially lower quality. But I think we've had a good World Cup so far. I think we've had a really good World Cup so far, you know? A lot of teams that most people would have assumed would have been cannon fodder have really showed up. You know, we're watching one of them right now in yellow. So I think it's been good so far. It's been logistically, it seems like it's you know, the whole visa situation, but that's a country issue rather than a expansion issue. But yeah, I mean, it's been okay. I think that at some point it does become too much. At some point it does become too much, but I think most people have really enjoyed the football that's been on offer so far in this tournament. But I say that with the caveat that we all know what the real reason for expansion was, and it wasn't to bring more joy to the people. It was to line some pockets. Japan is the dark horse. Yes. Canada, Mexico. By the way, I watched Supergirl last night. Has anyone seen Supergirl? Let me know in the comments if you've seen it. But I have thoughts. I have thoughts on it. I liked it overall. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it. Well, before I go into that, let me first see. I'll get an indication of who's seen it and who hasn't first. Theo. Oh, wait. Sorry. Earlier on, when I was talking about the expansion of the World Cup, were you talking about going even further beyond 48? I think that would probably be a bit too much at that point. But you know, right now, this 48, it seems like it's been okay so far. Good ball. Seems like it's been okay so far. First cross in the box and straight into the Canadian goalkeeper. Ray says, I wish I saw your reaction to South Africa beating South Korea. I don't think you do. Quite frankly, I don't think you do wish you saw it, because I was fast asleep. Or I thought, do you mean when I woke up? I mean, I can reenact it for you. It was something like that. Or something like that. Michael says, please stop putting this guy, Lyles Foster, on the thumbnails. Gives me PTSD every time. All right. I'll tell you what, for the next South Africa game in this World Cup, I'll put Mbukazi. Weird Ice Cream. Hi, I'm in North Korea. North Korean Jessica Alba, and I'm definitely watching your stream. The North Koreans are back. If you've been watching this stream, you'll know, if you've been watching these watch-alongs so far in the World Cup, you'll know that for whatever reason, there's just been an influx of North Koreans. Strange one. Ray Fresco says, you got all the eliminated teams. Yeah. Very true. Yeah, I'm seeing that in South Korea, there's an inquisition by the South Korean government on what went wrong with the team. So there's a very shameful response. Well, they feel very shameful about that. Tommy Novosetti says, "My poor Korean baddies." I think you're going to find some people in the stream hoping that you'd share, my friend. Yeah, it's just this final bit of quality by both teams in the final third is missing. You can see that both teams are really afraid of making mistakes, as you would guess at this age. That's actually a useless piece of commentary that I just made. I'm sorry about that. I wasted your time with those 2 seconds. I'll be better in the future. KR, hi, how's it going? Good? Hope you're good too. Smidge says, group stage has become uncompetitive. First World Cup I can remember with not a single big team getting grouped. I agree. Yeah, the stakes are a lot lower. The stakes are a lot lower, but the stakes are still there. Don't mind. I mean, the stakes are still there. We're going to see a much more interesting World Cup now. The headlines are just going to ramp up even more. Offsides there by Canada. Jay Ogayo says, spoil away. You're talking about Supergirl, that you stopped watching Western media. Spoiling a superhero movie is impossible. I mean, listen, it came out 2 days ago. I think it's entirely possible to spoil a superhero movie. PC says, who are you supporting? This team? Gunther says, logical take. I think there are too many games now and it will be difficult for a single country to host going forward with 2 or 3 games going through. With 2 or 3 games going through, the format isn't ideal. Yeah, more or less. Canada doing so well to get back into shape as soon as they lose the ball. But now they've won it in South Africa's half. Saliba. Oluwayesi with a shot, and Ronwin saves. Safe hands Ronwin, that's what we call him. Dino says, you check the score before the highlights if you miss the game. If I miss one, I always watch extended highlights. Oh, what? You're going to make me miss a Maseko attack. He slips in the box. Oh, Canada's so good to get 3 men on him. No chance for him. Is this a corner now for South Africa? First corner of the game, I believe. Everything threatening has come for South Africa has come down their right-hand side with Maseko, it seems. They're putting a lot of men behind him. Whoa. That was a crazy thing I just said. Don't mind me. Don't mind me at all. So far, Modibo on the left hasn't been so great. First corner, first head on the ball, and it is out. I'll tell you what. I actually don't know what to tell you, honestly. Nico Adventures. Hello, my friend. Korea needs to hire either Ted Lasso or you, sir. If I'm honest with you, I don't know how effective I would be for this Korea side. I don't even speak Korean. But for them, I would learn. Anton says, can I get a refund for those 2 seconds? Yeah, of course. Of course. I'll get someone to reach out to you. I'll get someone to reach out to you. Anton, by the way, I haven't forgotten about the... Why does this thing keep up, like it keeps... My control panel, for whatever reason, has now put the time back. It's missing the time. Now I have to correct it. It looks as though I'm behind, but I'm not. Yes, Anton, I was saying I haven't forgotten your suggestion from the last stream about putting in an XG chart instead of the attack momentum bar. I tried to do it, but it didn't look great. Because what I want to do is have it be going in either direction. So like each side is on either side and it just goes like kind of like that per minute. This is what the momentum chart looks like so far. It's a work in progress so far. It's pretty much just tracking all the big. Canada goalkeeper gets put under a bit of pressure, but does very well. Does very well. Ball gets swept over to Laria. Yeah, that comment about men behind Maseko was ill-timed and ill-advised. Ooh. Do we see this game go to penalties? Can you imagine? That would be peak entertainment right there. Nicholas says, I thought South Africa was cooked after the Mexico game. You're not the only one. I am, there is somewhere a recording of me being live talking about how I was certain that it was tough. I think there is a comment that I left under that, like a pinned comment, basically saying, because I watched while I was editing the video of the reaction for the South Africa versus Mexico game, I was watching the South Korea versus Czechia game, and both teams looked very good. And I was like, there's no chance. But against those teams, South Africa's undefeated. Great skill by Ocon. Rob says most of the American stadiums are outside of the city. Atmosphere would be better if stadiums were in the city. It's just it's space. It's just spacing. You're correct. You're absolutely correct. But there is just I think most of these stadiums are fairly new as well. I don't know how many of these mega stadiums in the States are older than like 20 years. Probably not very many. 20, 25 years. Rob says, I should please buy a new computer and do not buy a Steam machine. Well, I am buying a MacBook Pro after the World Cup. It's so unfortunate. I was literally going to buy one right before the World Cup, but then I just got too busy. And I just got too busy and I couldn't like find time to properly like spec it out and look at all the stuff that I wanted. I'll get it after the World Cup, even with the price raise, unfortunately. But yeah, it's like I'm looking at like $500 minimum more than I would have spent if I just bought it like a week ago, which is unfortunate. I don't think I'll buy a Steam machine though. It is just horrendous value for money, isn't it? Like absolutely horrible. You're getting an entry-level PC for $1,000 as the base option. Estekio is on a set piece right outside the SA box on the right-hand side. I need him to channel the corner energy that he's been doing. Oh, Maseko looks tiny in that box, man. Oof. Over the goal. Ronman collects. I mean, the worry here from the South African perspective is that Canada aren't finding it too difficult to get on the end of their crosses into the box. This is now, I think, the fourth time that I've counted from a set piece. One of those will hit. You keep letting that happen. Potato, the momentum chart is finally working. It's half working. It's half working. I'm currently the API, the stats provider I'm using doesn't provide a lot of advanced stats. So I'm working with what I have so far. And, you know, it looks the part, but it's not accurate per se. Like, if you want to see, like, take a look at this chart versus the ones on, I don't know, SofaScore or OneFootball. They're a lot more detailed. But yeah, I'll find a new stats provider and I'll make it look better. Abdi says, "What do you think about the game?" Canada, the aggressors. So I mean, there's a momentum chart on the screen right now. Canada, the aggressors. They found their guys in, or now they have another opportunity immediately. But great clearance by Mpokazi. They're finding men in the box. Canada are doing very well to find players in the box, but they're lacking that final touch. But listen, we have to give credit to South Africa for putting them off enough to at least not get those good touches in there. South Africa have had a couple good counterattacks. Maseko in particular. But he just doesn't seem to either. There's not really anyone in the box for him, and he just gets on the ball a bit too long. And then Canada have 3 players on him. But I mean, for the neutral, I guess it's not very interesting of a game unless you have proper stakes in it. I mean, let's see what the match odds are. Well, I'm gonna have to update these. There you see again a header. How is this not gone on the ball? How is this not gone in the box? Canada have just had a barrage of shots on South Africa's goal and nothing has gone in. That was like 3 shots in there. These South African players are putting their bodies on the line. Great chances. This is gilt edge. They should be scoring here. Great corner by Estekia. Goal line clearance by Modiba. Another shot by Cornelius. Buchanan with another shot and it's out. Wow, what a sequence. What a sequence. Yeah, this is what you call putting your body on the line over here. 3 SA players. It's good stuff. This is what I'm talking about. If Canada don't score from these opportunities, if Canada don't take advantage of the fact that they've now had, what is this now, their 4th look on goal, 4th viable look on goal, that's definitely the best chance they've had so far. They could be looking back at these opportunities with a lot of sorrow. A lot of sorrow. Canada right back on it again by Miller. Is that a penalty? It's entirely possible that's a pen. It's entirely possible that's a pen. That looked questionable. That looked very questionable. Miller has gone into the box. He's played in, I think that's Oluwayesi. No, it's not Oluwayesi. Sorry, it's Laria. He's played in Laria. But we're going for VAR, I'm pretty sure. It looked questionable. He does slightly get like a toe on the ball, but is that going to be counted as enough? Like, he definitely gets more of the man than the ball. Gets a slight toe on the ball, but he also blocks Laria's. That's probably a pen. I would say that's probably a pen if I'm being completely real. What a letdown. When you have games like this, that pen could very well decide everything. He blocks his strike. He blocks his, Mudawi blocks Laria's ability to cross it in. Everything that I was saying earlier on about Estakio's set piece ability has just turned completely on its head. No pen? No pen! Interesting. In the Premier League, that's probably going to be a pen. You know what? Never mind. In different leagues, I would say that's probably 7 times out of 10 a penalty. Interesting. Okay, it's not a pen. Game goes on. South Africa handed a lifeline. Yeah, they just need to make better use of. They need to make better use of their their attacks when they get them. Banana should have been a pen. I'm not gonna lie to you. I probably would have. If I were to have gone and checked the VAR, I probably would have called it a pen. Even though these always look worse when you look in slow motion. These always look worse when you look in slow motion. Yeah, but Canada are right back in it. I think that's offsides. I think that's offsides by Oluwayesi. Game goes on. Yeah, Canada, like right at the end of this half, seems to be cranking it up a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit, just that little bit. That's got to be a free kick. Interesting game so far, you know. A lot of it's been. Let's see what the momentum chart is looking like right now. All the way Canada. Also, I need to fix the center line over here. Okay, and that's half time. The momentum chart is looking all right, but it just needs to be scaled up a little bit. We'll get there. Jesse Marsh on the pitch complaining about a penalty. Of course he is. The man who was the original disco guy. Isn't this the celebration he did against Qatar? Tim Kennedy says, well, it's halftime, guys. Halftime. Verdict is that Canada should be in the lead. Canada could either live to rue these. I don't know what I'm saying. I had a complete brain fart right there when my brain just stopped. Canada could either live to regret these chances that they've missed, or or they'll come back stronger. But yeah, I mean, listen, it's not looking great from a South African perspective. I do think that they're obviously still in the game. It's 0-0. But if I'm Canada, I'm very much liking my chances. Very much liking my chances a little bit more. Anyway. Smidge says, normally the hosts always get these decisions, but this is the first game in history where a World Cup host nation is playing in another country. That's actually funny, isn't it? I never thought about it from that perspective. This is the first time that a host is playing in another country. We're going to see that quite a lot of that in the next World Cup, aren't we? Argentina and Uruguay. Tuna says, pretty sure that exact situation played out in an England match and given no pen. Oh, you know what? You're talking about the Ghana. That was the Ghana opportunity by Sinaya. I think it was Sinaya, at least, who gets taken out by Konza. I think that this one, well, first of all, I think with this one, there is more intent to play the ball. Listen, I'll put it like this. I still think that this was a penalty. I still would probably, if I were to be the ref and look at a slow-mo, I would probably think that that's a penalty. But if you were to compare those two ones, Konza's not even going for the ball. He just like straight up like hooks over and gets Sinaya and pulls him down. So different circumstances, but interesting. Banana says, Sinasha, please get up out of your chair and do Jesse Marsh celebration. It's like, he did that. He's like, but he was like a bit weird about it. a little bit, I guess I can't say the word. A little bit awkward, let's say. Awkward. Simon Chat, I think whoever goes through getting to the round of 16, Canada or South Africa is for sure. For sure. I mean, listen, regardless of the shirt I'm wearing or whatever, like this is like one of those moments where you're just like, I'm happy to be here. I'm just happy to be here. That's whatever. Like, let's see how it goes. Uh, Jiangsu says, I love the officiating at the World Cup so much more. You see the dumbest shit from PGMOL, to be fair, every week. Yeah, I mean, those guys are just a bit of a boys' club, aren't they? Their mate makes a mistake, and they know that they've made a mistake, but they don't want to embarrass them too much by being like, brother, you've made a mistake. So they won't do a review, or they'll either like try as much as they can to not get the on-field decision turned around, because listen, they want to protect each other's reputations. They know it's going to be an inquisition. Like, I think one of the most dangerous jobs in the UK is probably working for the PGMOL at this point, if we're all being completely honest. Gunther says, South Africa need to be more dangerous in the final third. Yeah, I'm reluctant to say that this performance in the first half has been good, because there are now three times that I've counted that they should have scored. You could extend that to 5 that were like marginal. But yeah, I'm reluctant to say this was a good opportunity. This was a good half of containment from South Africa. Apart from that one block, I think they're going to show it right now on the screen I'm watching, where it was like a triple save. But yeah, other than that, they just need to sack up a little bit. Milky says Messi would have got that pen. I can't comment too much on that one, Chief. Typical opposite says, I see a dog cage in the back of your video sometimes. Yeah, I mean, we don't even use this dog cage. It's just we don't have anywhere else to put it. But it's a Swiss Shepherd. Louis van Heerden says, not calling obvious dives and accidental touches. Tunicat, refs have been great all tournament in general, apart from a couple of odd decisions. I mean, it's very clear at this point that the mandate by FIFA was to let the game play, be more physical. I think the worst nightmare by FIFA would be to have a Brazil 2014 situation where, like, I forget which game it was in particular. It wasn't the Colombia game where Neymar was just rolling, where he was just like rolling the whole game and rolling off the pitch. He obviously did get injured actually in that Colombia game, but like the worst nightmare would be for FIFA to have that, and then have all the Americans who they're trying so hard to get on board with football just come out and be like what the fuck did we just watch? So they definitely have a mandate to be more physical, but it's been at the expense of a couple really what we would call obvious calls. It is unfortunate. Yeah, maybe that's a good poll. I'll put a poll up to say, do you think the lenient refereeing is worth the missed calls? That's a good question. Bonga says, I'm annoyed you can't see and explain to your audience why it was not given. Yeah, I mean, obviously broadcast rights and all that. Come on, I'm just a guy in his spare bedroom chatting absolute nonsense. But yeah, I guess that the reason would likely be also, by the way, I'm not listening to commentary, so I'm literally watching this silent because this is how I usually watch football games, by the way. But I'm guessing that the explanation would be that he was going for the ball. He actually did touch the ball. The unfortunate thing is that he did actually, like, he obstructed Laria from crossing, which is where I would say that it was more on the side of penalty. But listen, let's see. Matthew Trossler, you're saying, have we lost faith in Foster? I'm not sure how much faith I had in him to begin with, if I'm being completely honest. Good player, championship level player. He will be in the championship next season. Obviously, that's a really high level of football, but I haven't seen very much from him in a South Africa shirt, or at least in this World Cup at the very least. So let's see. He'll likely come on now. Mahopa hasn't done all too much. In this World Cup, I don't know, like Foster's touches in the final third, he hasn't been so great at hold-up play. He hasn't, obviously hasn't scored. He'll likely come on in the game, especially if it goes to penalties or goes that far. Expect to see Alphonso Davies in there too. Watch out for him. Monk says no one is talking about Sitole's redemption arc. We're all talking about it. We're all talking about it. Brother had an absolute nightmare in that first game. Only come through and had, like, this is the thing. I can't lie and say that I did it, that I watched South Africa versus South Korea. I was asleep. but from everything that I've seen, he had so many great, all the highlights that I saw, the extended highlights. He had a lot of great tackles in the final third, defending, and good player. Banana, when ITV plays the one check in slow motion, the South African defender did get a touch on the ball before the attacker kicked him. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Gunther says, that was 2018 when he was rolling. He got his back broken in 2014. Yeah. So I knew that he obviously didn't get his back broken in the same game as the rolling, but I just assumed that it was in 2014. You're correct. It was in 2018. So yeah, that would be the worst nightmare for an American audience. S33 Glory. We had a good first half relative to expectations. Mukazi was great. Mukazi was really good. Sitole good, Mokoena good, Mahopa and the rest of the front line were bad. This isn't a South Africa thing too. Canada's front line hasn't been great too. David should have a goal. Oluwaseyi he's been okay as well. Millers looks dangerous on the left-hand side for Canada. Laria, potentially, depending on where you stand, should have had a penalty. Cornelius had 2 good shots on goal, but have been disappointing. The shining light for me is Maseko. As soon as the ball goes out to him, we can see Canada he's been the guy. He's been the guy. Black Superman says, love these. What are you talking about? What are you looking at? By the way, love your work. Psycho, Ikari. Interesting. So am I me? I'm Psycho? Augusto says, listen, yesterday the pen wasn't given to Colombia for the same thing. We're going to do a pack opening again just now. Yesterday the pen wasn't given to Colombia for the same thing, getting in the way of the attacker's shot. Yeah. Antoine, I don't like the lenient refereeing. A big part of why is that I can't stop thinking about when Mourinho spoke about the referees needing to protect players like Hazard. Yeah. And Hazard, I forget what the actual number was, but he was the most fouled player in that 2018 World Cup by a lot. And that was kind of like, I know he had a great 18-19 season, arguably his best with Chelsea, but I kind of like from then on, he fell off quite a lot, and injuries obviously were a big part of it. Black Superman says, did your predictions change on the way the tournament is going to go? Not yet. Well, yeah, actually, you know what? I'm going to stick by them for now. I predicted that it would be a Spain-Portugal final, but that's already out because Spain and Portugal will meet in, I think, the quarterfinals. If there's no route for them to make it to meet in the final. So that's already out of there. I predicted Portugal was going to win. That already looks completely out of there too. So I'm not going to change it just yet, but realistically, come on. You really think that my predictions would come right? I'm sorry about that, Chief. EM3 says Mahopa needs to get in the box and give fullbacks and wingers an option to cross the SA. Is getting through the final third. Yeah, both times Maseko was through. Was looking good on the left. Sorry, on the right hand side, there was no one for him to play a ball into. No one running onto it. Divin says, I actually messaged Alphonso Davies asking for tickets as a joke, and he actually responded saying he'd give me one, but when I told him I don't live in Vancouver, he ended up not giving them. He's a good guy. He does seem like a very online guy. So that's not too surprising to me, you know. Volkswagen, I'm guessing you're from Germany. Or you might have a Polo. Part of what makes RSA such a cool team for me as an outsider is the fact that most of their starting lineup plays in the domestic league. I would assume that's a huge plus for fans based in South Africa. Yeah, I think most South Africans know all the players, and it goes a lot deeper than that because of this. Alphonso Davies is warming up right now, by the way, so... Blorb says, I'd wish they'd sanction diving more. Yeah. In the past times, almost everyone hated divers and it was socially discouraged by fans and other players. Oh, superhero movies. We're going to talk about Supergirl just now, but let me just do a pack opening right now as these boys walk out onto the pitch. We still haven't gotten any South Africa or Canada players yet. Let's see what we can get now. First player. Can you see this? This is still quite bright. Bosnia. Second player. The Ghana Federation. Doesn't help us very much here. Next one. Jordan. Morocco. Mama Joy. Mama Joy in the crowd. She's one of those super fans, so she follows every like the Springboks and if you don't know, Mama Joy is like one of those super fans from South Africa. She follows all the sports teams all over the world, and there's been like a really big there's always quite a big fuss about it because there is an allocated budget to send her to all of these sports events. I forget how much money it is. But it's a lot of money. If anyone in the comments knows, it's a lot of money where they basically like have it on hand just to send her and like another small group of fans to every sporting event to bring the vibe for South Africa. It's quite interesting. Let's look at the odds. Have they updated? Still quite low. Oh, we're about to kick off. And we have kicked off. Oh, next one. Haiti. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's looking interesting. The boy. The boy Modiba. Let's put him right here. Last one. France, Konate. It's not looking good for Canada. Actually, it's not looking good for South Africa. If you don't know, every time I pack at least one player from one of the teams playing, the other one wins. So let's see. Ellie says Spain and Portugal. Yeah, I was a little bit cooked on that one. I'm sorry. Rob's hot take, superhero movies are dying out. We're witnessing the beginning of the end for the genre. I mean, the beginning of the end for the genre, for me personally, that ball went out of play, by the way. Canada crosses the ball into the box, but it went out of play before that, and it was offsides in any case. For me, the death of the superhero genre was when we got things like The Boys. Like The Boys came out and everyone was just clamoring over it, like something fresh and something anti-superhero and something like that. It just to me that was like, listen, the fatigue of this genre is really building up. The Boys and Invincible. Like, we need things that are more gory, and we need things that are subversions of the genre. But yeah, you can't really like. I'm looking forward to Spider-Man and the next Avengers, but I mean, at this point, they're just recycling things. They've brought back the entire Avengers cast that died valiantly in the last one. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to see Scarlett Johansson come back, even though she sued Disney for a shit ton of money at some point. But yeah, Supergirl. Watched it last night. I thought it was good. I was a little bit worried that they were going to lean far too heavily in the fact that, like, I was a little bit worried they were going to lean far too heavily in, like, highlighting how she is a woman and all that, like, just being, like, pandering to crowds way too much. Because, like, the first couple of scenes were like her, and then the first one was like a bandit woman, like a group of bandit ladies, and all that. Like, you can write a good female protagonist without pandering to the female audience. Like, you can do that, and I think they did in this movie. At no point did I think it was preachy, but I was wondering if they were gonna go down that route, but they didn't. Oh, lady dropped her phone while doing a Mexican wave. Unfortunate. Yeah. I think you really just insult. You insult your audience when you do stuff like that. Oof. A lot of tackles flying in the midfield by South Africa, by both teams, sorry, as this half gets started. Matthew, the budget was cut, but a private company stepped in and took the cost, apparently. You're talking about the budget to send Mama Joy, to the South African superfan, to all the games. What a smart fella, Mr. Matthew. Thank you for that. Well, I can't even speak English right now. For your help over there. For that insight. God, I couldn't even think about the word insight. I'm a failure. Super Ciso, you're saying I'm wearing an SA jersey? Indeed I am, my friend. Indeed I am. Let's take a look at the momentum bar. By the way, I always say this in all of these streams. I've made these overlays, so if you have any suggestions of stuff you want me to add, like information you want to be put on here, like, we don't have any big moments so far. We've got one substitution, which I didn't highlight, by the way. Mbata's on for Mofokeng. Yeah, anything else that you guys want to see? Match info stuff. The match odds updates as the game goes on, by the way. Vince says, do you think Germany has any chance against France if they play in the round of 16? I think it'll be a good game. I think Germany are definitely the underdogs. They always have a chance. Long throw in to South Africa's box by Canada. Thwarted by the SA defense. Well done. I think we're probably going to see more of the same in this half. Canada controlling a lot of the possession. Miller looked good in the first half. Or at least he was getting into good positions. He didn't look good himself, but he looked like a good outlet, that left-hand side. Louis van Heerden says, everyone I've spoken to here in South Africa said they don't watch football because the diving is too much. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it is a lot. It is a lot. But you're talking about South Africa, man. If you have a country where the two biggest sports are rugby and football, if you're the sort of person that doesn't like play acting, then kind of guess which sport you're going to gravitate more towards. Yakufenta says, the recycling you speak of is very prominent in Spider-Man especially. There is only so many times I can see Peter origin story. Give me Miles Morales. The world's not ready for Miles Morales. Ball over for South Africa, but defended very well. Defended very well by Canada, and it's a high boot, I also think. Larry has been good so far. Yeah, definitely a high boot. Definitely a high boot. Yak, you're right. You're completely correct. But you know what? Marvel are counting on guys like me, who, like, I am an absolute, like, I just love Spider-Man. You know, if a Spider-Man movie is out, I will watch it. I'll be there. Like, I'll be there to see it. So it's not even like it's not even a question. So they're hoping to see that. And obviously at this point, like with all the actors, it's, you put Chris Evans in a movie, you're gonna get so many dudes with Cheeto dust on their fingertips that have not left the house since 2018. That'll show up, and they're counting on that. I am one of them. I've left the house 2 times since 2018. Both times were horrible experiences. MS says, most frustrating thing about Bafana's play is they stop their own counters. Yeah. So this is what I was saying in the first half about just not being, they're not willing to just do fast breakaways. They're not willing to take a little bit of risk. Because they, good nutmeg there by Mudau. They're not willing to take a little bit of risk because, another nutmeg by Mudau. Whoa. Yo, that's a yellow card, Saliba. You can't keep doing that. They're not willing to take risks at the expense of losing their shape. And their defensive shape has served them decently so far in this game. You as a viewer, you do wish that they do play a little bit quicker. But anyway. Bolink says, I haven't watched anything Marvel since Endgame other than 1 or 2 Spider-Man films, I think. I mean, there have been only 1 Spider-Man film since Endgame, hasn't there? But fair enough, maybe you didn't see them. I'm assuming. Ox3, that's the problem with the female-led films. They get so patronizing, not to mention get very misandrist against men. Yeah, listen, my only gripe is that you do insult your audience when you decide to lean too heavily into something and make it like it's great to like representation and all that, but like, I mean, I'll even say it like as a black guy, like watching certain or South Africa on the attack will pick up on that thought again. That pass just kills so much momentum. But SA are still on the ball in the box. These passes in the final third are just lacking a little bit of quality, but Mudau has it on him. Recycled back into the midfield, but listen, snappy passes, quick into the box, caught by Canada's goalkeeper. That was good movement. Yes, like as a black man, like as a black person, watching a lot of certain media try to like shoehorn black people into their media is like, you're insulting the audience, bro. Like I don't want to say any examples or anything like that, but it's like, come on, like just tell us a good story. You don't have to pander to us because it's actually worse, in my opinion. But anyway. Jiang says, Jonathan David is so underwhelming in his performances. I understand he scored a hat-trick against Qatar, but he doesn't seem like a guy to carry Canada forward. I have always I have always kind of questioned Jonathan David, like Jonathan David. Like, how much is he getting? He plays for Juventus, doesn't he? I don't think I've ever seen like a great game, like a great performance by him. I don't think I've ever seen a great performance by him. And he's one of Juventus's top earners, I believe, too. It's one of those ones. Banana, Tinashe, are you him? I am a him. I am one of the hymns. Himothy hymns is actually what my friends call me. Mexican wave by the Canadian support. Lots of empty seats I'm looking at, by the way. I'm wondering if those are all the all the Koreans that realized that their team wasn't going to make it. I've said too much. Yo Rose says, do you think it was the uncreatable hype of Endgame and Infinity War that contributed to broader casual fans ceasing to be invested in superhero films after those films could not be followed up? I think it was just the fact that it was the end of a cycle. It was the end of a long saga. It's literally called Endgame. And now you want to continue the series. Like, a lot of people were so invested for like 10 years and then it was just over. Okay, we're talking a bit too much about Marvel, I think. I'll put it to a poll. So anyway, looking at the last results, do you think the linear refereeing is worth all the missed fouls? Yes, I do agree with it too. Unless it's for a team that I'm actively supporting or watching. We're in a very long break and play right now. But I liked Supergirl. I will say, like, you go and watch Supergirl if you haven't. I thought it was really good. And who's the actress? Millie Alcock? She was great. She was great. And the little girl, whose name I don't know. Canada on the attack. Great defense by South Africa. Well, it was great defense until they gave the ball right back to Estekio, and now Miller on the left. Ball goes in, doesn't get past the first South African player. But they just can't get out. Oh, but it is a foul. It is a foul. Fair enough. The 55 says Canada is favoring J. David and C. Laren purely because they play in UK over better players like Oluwaseyi, who played in MLS and La Liga for their recognizability. I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that. TC says, Marsh is so bad. How does this man get jobs? I think he's probably the only American coach that has coached outside of America, isn't he? Like the only notable one that has held a head coach role outside of America. Banana says, would you say KDB is the greatest Prem midfielder ever? This is a topic. This is an interesting topic. One that I'm going to pick up after coming back from the toilet. Hold that thought just for a second. God, I hope I don't miss a goal. I'll be right back. Okay. I have returned. I have returned to watch a South Africa shot that has just sailed over to the left. It's good to see a shot's taken out. Oh, taken out a Canadian midfielder there. Interesting swerve on that ball. Dudley says, this is very boring, I've heard. Yeah, the game hasn't been the most entertaining if you don't have a team that you are, actively looking to support. It's definitely not. It is not one of the more entertaining games in the World Cup so far. I think he's offsides. I think McKenna was offsides over there, but advantage is played. Tunicat says Korea going on villain arc targeting SA in the next World Cup. Lol, yeah, that's possible. So the question before I went to the toilet was Kevin De Bruyne best midfielder? Is he the best midfielder in the Premier League? Kevin De Bruyne is most certainly the best midfielder post 2015, I would say. In my opinion, I don't think there's much debate about that. In terms of best midfielder ever, it's in the Prem. I'll probably be showing my age a tiny bit, but for me, I don't know if we're gonna see anything better than Patrick Vieira. Like, Patrick Vieira was just everything. Absolutely everything that you would want to do. Everything that you would want a football player to be able to do, Patrick Vieira could do it. He could play any midfield position. He could play attacking midfielder. He could play just behind the striker. He could play on the left, on the right, as a CDM. Good in the air, good on the ball, could dribble. Ooh, Canada are through. And it's a shot, and Ronald Williams saves. Oh, what an incredible sequence by Mbokazi. Oh my gosh. Canada with a very, very fast break. Miller with a great ball through. Let's take a look at this again. No, that wasn't Miller with the ball through, sorry. I think that was Johnston. Oluwase with a shot blocked by Ronwin. And Mbokazi gets there just before David. Wow, great defense. Great defense over there. Oluwase is going to be hitting the floor right now. Estekio with the corner. Hey, watch out for this corner, by the way, because all of Canada's set pieces have found a Canadian head. Let's put it that way. Again, although this one goes out to a goal kick. Yeah, Patrick Vieira is just like, I have yet to see a player that does more from a pure midfield perspective. Everything. I'm talking everything in the midfield. Like Kevin De Bruyne, you could say the 10 and the 8 position, he's got it on lock. If we're going to change the conversation about that, then I'll say Kevin De Bruyne. But when you say midfielder and just put it at that, I don't know anyone else, if I'm honest with you. That's my opinion. Cactus Dave says background noise kind of game. Yeah. I can see it. I can see it. What a save. Yaku, I'm not tired of superheroes, just tired of the same characters. I want fresh stories with versions of heroes we haven't seen. Batman Beyond. What did you think, Yaku? What did you think of the Batman movie with Robert Pattinson? Before I lose my train of thought about the best midfielder thing, if we want to change the topic, I think a more interesting question is The best it's a water break too. It's a hydration break. The best singular season by a midfielder is an interesting question. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. But for me, it has to be Yaya Toure, 2013-14 for Man City. Guy was an absolute bulldozer. Trundle the Great, biased? Biased what? Oh, you mean like I'm being biased? If that's what you mean, I support Manchester United. It's a weird thing. I support Manchester United. My favorite player ever is Thierry Henry, and the best midfielder ever in the Premier League era, that, in my opinion, is Patrick Vieira. So I'm not sure how I could be being biased. Yaku says pens are coming. The way this game is going so far, I wouldn't be surprised. Mbokazi's been, to me, Mbokazi's been man of the match so far. So far. It does say something when your man of the match is a centre back and you've been under the cosh a little bit, but let's take a look at the odds. They haven't updated yet. They should update. More subs. I think when I was in the toilet. Nico Sigur and Luc de Fougerolles. Fougerolles. Interesting name. Love the infographics. It's Dewey. Thank you. Trundle, Tinashe, biased, Chipaka. Like, tell me how I'm being biased, please. I'd like to know how I'm being biased. I don't support any of them. Gerrard more versatile than Vieira. Yeah, I mean, I think it's an opinion thing. I think it's definitely up to opinion, but oh, never mind. What am I saying? Gerrard has actually played he's played every position, right? So technically it's not an opinion thing. He is more versatile. I think he had a stint at right back too during an injury crisis for Liverpool in the early 2000s, late 90s. So yeah, that is fair. I don't know. I just look at, I remember like from all the video, I didn't watch all of the games live at the time. I was obviously like 5. But I remember like 2001 till 2005, Patrick Vieira. Even before that, like late 90s. He's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Steven Gerrard was the same, and he carried that team. Steven Gerrard probably he suffers from the same thing that Harry Kane suffered from before he went to Bayern Munich. He just never had a great team around him, and by association, it made people discount how good he actually was. Rob says, Patton says Batman was too emo. I think he was just depressed. I do agree, like the war paint and all of that was possibly a bit over the top, but it was, I mean, I think previous Batmans had war paint anyway. Yaya Toure 2014. If referee cam is great, especially for some of the better goals and like some player reactions. I want more of it. Nabri says the country you moved to is uncommon for Africans. How come you chose to move there? My girlfriend is Austrian. It's also a great country. It's Dewey. Can I place a bet now? Don't place a bet. Place a bet. Don't place a bet. Don't place a bet. South Africa, on the attack, but it is just snuffed out by the Canadian defense. Place a bet. I'm surprised that we haven't seen Davies come on yet. You know, we're looking at potentially, listen, we don't know what could happen. We're looking at potentially the last 20 minutes of a World Cup campaign. You don't want your best player to be on the pitch. Freiburg, Gerrard is not overrated. Gerrard is not overrated. He just played for a poor team for his entire career. Frank Lampard is great, but Frank Lampard, and he will say this himself, I believe he has said this many times, obviously a fantastic football player, a model example of someone that, like, of just hard work. Like, everyone forgets that Frank Lampard is a Nepo baby. And there was no reason for him to work so hard and become the footballer that he did. And he was never as talented as everyone else. Like, I think he was in the same age group as Joe Cole and Rio Ferdinand. He was never as talented as all of them, but he just worked harder than everyone else. So I'll give that to him. But I don't think that he is in the same conversation as guys like Vieira or Toure or Gerrard. Again, that's just opinion. Great ball through to SA. Lots of space. Lots of space. Can he sort his feet out? Well, the Canadians have gone back in time. Goes up. Horrible cross. Oh, ball is still in play. Overshot. These are good signs by South Africa. Yo, Mudau has been feasting on that piece of gum the whole game. Surely there's no flavor. I wonder what gum he's chewing right now, actually. Ecstasy says, wasn't Davies coming from some injury? He's on the pitch now. Fonzo Davies is on the pitch now. Whoa. Okay, things could get very interesting now for South Africa. Where is he going to play? Wait, who's he come on for here? Buchanan. Okay, how's the shape going to change? Because I don't think that he's going to be playing. I think you probably want him on the ball as much as possible. It looks like he's playing on the left. Okay, something to watch out for. Jiang says, funny thing, I saw Fellaini play at Chinese Super League for Shandong Taishan before. He was a decent player for United. Oh, good shot. Oh, that was a good shot by Promise. Just goes wide. Williams did not have that covered. He maybe did have it covered, actually. Just drags it a little bit there. Great shot. Ooh. It's Dewey saying Davies is injured. I don't know, bro. Ling, are you nervous, Tinashe? Nervous? I don't get nervous. Nervous gets me. I don't know what I'm saying. I'll tell you what, sometimes I say the strangest things on these lives. One day it's going to come back to bite me. Let's keep the stream small. Weird Ice Cream saying, I can never understand when people chew gum while during sports. I would be scared of choking. It's definitely a way of increasing concentration. Like, I don't know, like if when you're at school or if you're still at school or whatever, try studying and chewing some gum while you're doing it. For a lot of people who maybe have like, I don't know, ADHD or tough attention spans, it definitely helps to be doing something stimulating. Davies one-on-one with Madawu. Oof. Ooh, great save by Ron Williams near post. He has to get there near post, but it's still on. Davies. Good tackle. Immediately gets involved in the game. Very, very big couple of minutes. Very, very big minutes. So whoever loses this game now, it's going to be heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. You can immediately see Sithole going over to support against Davies. Just do not allow him any space over there. Sisk Fabregas, Arsenal 07-08 or 09-10. Gotta be 09-10. I lie, gotta be 07-08. I lie, 07-08 for sure. The season after Henry left. Turned up another gear. You really can't fault Arsenal fans for feeling that their entire future was secured. Seeing the way Fabregas was playing for Arsenal the year after Thierry Henry left, it really looked like he was going to just own that team for the next 10 years. Little did we know Spain would win a World Cup and Gerard Piqué would put a Barcelona shirt on him. Thomas says Canada easily deserved the win. They've definitely been the better side. They've definitely been the better side. But we really do have to. We have to like put our hats off to South Africa. I think the assumption was that this would be a much easier game. A good block there by Mudawa by Alphonso Davies. Attempted pass slip through. But they give the ball right back to Canada. They give the ball right back to Canada and like they're just going to come right back at you. You can see that the entire Canadian attack now is just focused on that left-hand side. And SA can't find their way out. Regulated Scream says it's to keep calm. Mentally, your mind relaxes when it thinks you're eating, stimulated when chewing. Also that. Canada on the right-hand side, cross in by Mudawu again. So far, Mudawu has done a good job against Alphonso Davies. And Alphonso Davies, who has just come on the pitch, by the way, while Mudawu has been working all night. All night. No Name says feels like the longest game ever. It has been a long game. It has been a very long game of not much happening. Great shot there by John. Well, not a great shot, but great save by Ron Williams. Good height with the shot. Anton says, I'm crying. The American broadcast has to tell people that there's no golden goal. Surely this is just a US thing. No, there was golden goal. Or Canada are through again. There was golden goal in the last World Cup. Is there golden goal in the local American leagues? For those of you that don't know what golden goal is, it means that in extra time, the first team to score a goal wins the match. If no one scores a goal, then it goes to penalties as usual. No name, sorry, not no name. JP says, do you play Marvel Rivals? I have never played Marvel Rivals. That's the one that's like Overwatch, right? Or Overwatch inspired. I've never played it. Oof, Canada sending a lot of men forward. Rob says best ball-winning midfielder, Conte. Conte, probably. Yeah, probably. Yaku, have every casino gamble go your way for 24 hours or know every sports results for a whole year. I mean, I think know your sports result for a whole year is obviously the play here, right? We'll put it to poll. I think knowing every sport, well, it depends. Am I able to gamble? Am I able to gamble with my knowledge of sports results for the year? Because if that's the case, then like you got to gamble. You got to gamble with your money like immediately and then make some more money and then just increase the amount that you can gamble. Whereas if you only know for 24 hours, like you might not be able to maximize your returns. This is not financial advice. Shot. Oh, decent shot. Decent shot by Apollos, but made the goalkeeper have to stretch. I think it was off target in any case. Yeah, things are heating up a little bit now. Things are getting a tiny bit more open. This favors Canada a lot. Especially if we have Mudau up here. That's got to be a foul. Surely that's a foul. What did I just say? We have Mudau out of position. Now we have Alphonso Davies being defended by Maseko, who does very well, by the way. Who does? Alphonso Davies, not Jonathan David. I said Alphonso. Yeah, he does very well. I thought that was definitely a foul there on Mudau, but maybe I'm wrong. Reyners and Moremi coming on. SA substitutions, 85th minute. No Lyle Foster yet. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Canada do look a bit gassed. Both teams look a bit gassed. Great tackle. Great tackle. Umbokazi. What a game he's having. Undoubtedly man of the match. There's a foul on Mudawi. Shawarm says, match so boring, we're talking about gambling instead. Nah, it's just a bit of a poll. Keep the people entertained. Keep myself entertained. Tunicat says, I think you would get thrown out of the casino for cheating. It's possible. It's likely. The house does not like to lose. Ray Fresco says, over the course of the game, you can see yourself getting more into the game. Alphonso Davies tries to cut it back. Doesn't do enough. I mean, you can tell that he's laboring a tiny bit, Alphonso Davies. You can tell that he's a little bit rusty. Yeah, you're right. Definitely getting more into the game as the stream goes on because the stakes are just rising even more. Like, any goal either way now is just either euphoria or heartbreak. Like, I don't know. To me, you could have a boring match, like the Champions League final, for example, boring match. But once you get to extra time and then the possibility of penalties, like, it just resets expectations and the amount of fun that you can have. And once you get to like these stages of the game, imagine a late winner here right now. Can you imagine? Can you imagine Teko Modise appearing to get for a interesting pass? Horrible pass. The Canadian defense was split wide open there for a decent ball through to Reyners. But it fell on the left foot, sorry, on the right foot. Horrible control there by Reyners. Horrible control there. SA number 20 tries to keep winning free kicks, but the ref doesn't want to hear it. Yeah. Number 20 is Mudawi. Yeah, he does have a bit of a tendency for show acting, show playing, same thing, I guess. Breaking. According to Football Iconics, financial advice, sports betting more profitable than gambling. It's the same thing. Jiang Su says, what kits do y'all think looks the best? I'm thinking about buying some World Cup kits. Argentina's third kit is beautiful. The dark one with the blue little like floral accents. Really, really nice. Obviously, this kit is very, very, very nice, I think. Curaçao's away kit as well, the gold one. Beautiful. What else? 5 minutes of extra time. Yeah, these Canadian players are laboring a little bit. I think it's the first touch of these South African players is horrible. As soon as they get into the opposition half, their first touch is just horrendous. The balls that are being played to them aren't the best to begin with. I'll be completely honest, but Mexico's home kit is also really nice. Spain's away kit, the white one with the red collars, that's also really nice. Ooh, Estechio, and it's a goal. It's a goal. Oh my God, that was a good goal. That is a dagger. That is a dagger there. You know what? You can't complain. You can't complain. It's been coming for a very long time. Yeah, it's done. Wow, that was a good goal. That was a good goal. You see what I mean? Man, just heartbreak. Like it's either just heartbreak. Look at this. Ball goes straight to him. Strike. Ah, it's beautiful. Can't complain about that one. Being closed down, good contact, out of the way of Ronwen Williams, can't get it. It's been a really frustrating afternoon for Canada. So this is, I mean, they deserve this much. They deserve this much. It's tough to see. So it's tough to see SA get anything out of this. Have they even had any shots on target in this half? Gonna have to throw the kitchen sink, but I mean, you have to risk just putting everyone forward, risk going down 2-0 on the counter, but just put everyone forward. There's nothing out, like you genuinely have nothing to lose at this point. Oof. Bit of desperation there by the South African players. That was definitely a foul just before because he wins it there. Carry it forward. Because he stays up on the... Ah, he's offsides. He's offsides. Ah, game's over, man. Good for Canada. Listen, I mean, they've made history. First World Cup round of 16 appearance. Good shot, good goal. Is what it is. I'm looking at a Canadian fan over there bursting into tears, man. Joseph saying he didn't even hit it right. That's the worst part. What do you mean he didn't hit it right? He caught the ball very well. He caught the ball exactly how he wanted it, I would say, if you were to ask him right now. I think this is probably all that I deserve after trashing on Eustachio's corner taking at the beginning of the game. Launched forward by a great ball. Oh my God, by Bukazi. Where's that been the entire afternoon? That was the first accurate long ball we've seen played all game, and it comes in the 95th minute. I think he's adding one more minute to added time, so we're probably going to see it go to 96. Oh, it's now or never. Oh my. Come on, we can't afford to be faffing about. Get the ball in there. Get the ball in there and gamble. Good bit of skill there by Apollos. Get the ball in there. I think the ref did indicate he was going to add one more minute. 30 seconds left. Just launch it. Not enough. Well defended by Canada. Last chance. Just get it in the box. That's all you need to do. Goalkeeper's there. Game's over. Game's over. Well played, guys. Well played. Canada deserved this one. Can you believe how hype it would have been if we went to penalties here? You can't complain. You can't complain too much, can you? I think the World Cup's just going to be... There we go. Oh, that was a tough. That's a tough defeat to take. That's a tough defeat to take. Should we do man of the match? I think let's do man of the match. We might as well. I mean, for me, it was either Mbokazi or Estekiao, I guess. Eustaquio. Eustaquio. I'll put Williams there too. The game really opened up for Canada as Alphonso Davies came in. A lot more players were being drawn over to the left-hand side. Opened up a lot of space. Oh, gosh. So, yep, Canada are in the next round. Canada are in the round of 16 for the first time in their history. They've won a World Cup. They've won a World Cup knockout game for the first time in their history. They are hosts. This is an incredible tournament for them. Whoever they play in the next round is going to be more than likely a much tougher test than South Africa. So, we'll see how they go. But tough game from a South African perspective. I think for me, I'll be completely real. For me, I would say that the World Cup is probably going to be a bit more enjoyable for me because I don't actually have any stakes, any actual proper emotion. I can just watch for good football. So these watch-alongs will probably be like that. Let's put it like that. Anyway, hats off to Canada. Next game we're watching while you guys are still here. Let's double check which game we're watching next. I think I want to watch that Morocco-Netherlands game, but it's on at like 3 a.m. It's on at 3 a.m. tomorrow. Well, if I stay awake. And then Germany-Paraguay is tomorrow, 10:30. I think it will probably be Sweden-France. Yeah. I didn't actually put community posts out the last time, but I'll put a community post out this time. We'll do France, Sweden. Annie says, GG's to SA, though to make it this far after that first game performance, I didn't look for them. You're not the only one. Anton says, I mean, it was always going to happen. Yeah, it was always going to happen. It would have been great to see penalties, like the ultimate equalizer. Brazil, wait, when are Brazil playing? You're playing tomorrow, right? Tomorrow at 7. Okay, well, we're definitely watching Brazil tomorrow. At 7. Watch out for that one. Yeah, I think that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for joining in. Like if you haven't liked, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I appreciate everyone that joins into these watch-alongs. I'm having fun, even though disappointing result, but this is football. I'm a Manchester United supporter, so I'm used to this. I will catch you guys in the next one, and enjoy your evening. If it's still a day for you, enjoy your day. All the best. Catch you in the next one.